Welcome to HCRM's latest offerings, Navadurgas of Sales. A lot of you might be aware of our campaign due to extraordinary success generated last year. So for the unversed, let me tell you what is Navadurgas of Sales. So basically, it is a campaign wherein we celebrate the journey of extraordinary women whose journey has left an indelible mark in sales. So, and this year also, we are back with a renewed vigor and enthusiasm. So today we have with us Ms. Neetu Bansal. So Neetu Bansal, she's a marketing coach and works with small and medium business owners, helping them create and navigate with their sales and marketing strategies. With 30 plus years of business owner and marketing professional, she is currently coaching business across India, Middle East, and US in their sales and marketing journeys. We are extremely honored to have you in this edition of Navadurgas of Sales. So thank you for being a part of this and making it a huge success.
Thank you so much for having me here today.
Yeah. So how are you feeling?
Excited and honored, both actually. Yeah. Excited to be part of your Navadurga series.
Right.
Honored to be a part of the Navadurga series, I guess both.
Yeah, good to know that. So as in your introduction that you have 30 plus years as a business owner, as a business coach. So I want to know that how did you get in sales? Like, because generally it is said that for a woman, sales is a tough job. So it's a hard job for a woman to come, because in sales you have to roam in market, you have to meet new people, you have to maybe sometimes you have to do door-to-door selling. So it's kind of tough. So how did you get into sales?
See, the funny thing is nobody told me it's going to be hard. Okay. And when I started into sales, I think initially it was with, I started with telesales. I started with telesales. Yeah. I started, all the people who call you up and ask you whether you want to open a current account, SB account, or you want a credit card or loan. I was one of them. Okay, I started with that.
Right.
And after that, when I got into physical sales, field sales, actually nobody told me that a woman cannot do this.
Right.
Okay. Yes, I do remember during my sales interview, the interviewer actually asked me that you're so fair, if you start going out on the field, you'd become dark. Yeah. So is that okay with you? That was the question that I had. Right. But aside from that, nobody told me that it's going to be hard. So I actually had no mindset that it's going to be difficult. I wanted to do something different. I wanted to be in control of my career. Right. And I wanted to meet people and learn things. So that's I think sales kind of, fit into this very well for me. And I started doing that. So yeah, in fact, the organization where I was doing the sales, the field sales, I was the only sales woman, I could say, right? Everybody else, the field sales, everybody was men. Back office, there were a lot of women, but in the field sales, when I started out at that time, I was the only salesperson, woman in the team as such. Again, still nobody told me that, it's going to be hard or you can't do this. I just knew that I had got an opportunity to sell something, and that it was technology that time. So I was very happy to have joined a technology field. And I was selling some great brands like IBM and HP and Cisco. So I was very happy with that, right? I was happy to go out and meet people. I was happy to go out and meet companies and corporates and do B2B sales. So yeah, that's how I started things for me. So luckily,
That's great. That's great. So it generally said that it's a field job, and how a woman will handle a field job. It's a market thing. You have to go in the market, and So was it difficult for you to go in field sales, because it's something that is not, which is very tough, I think. So
maybe again, so for me, first of all, when I started doing the field sales, this was pre-Google Maps.
Oh,
right. In fact, this was pre-internet also, internet on the mobile. This was pre-mobile. I started going on the field when we had pagers. Okay.
Okay.
And then the phones, the mobile phones came, but outgoing was being charged. So we would be very careful about calling up a customer because it would be expensive to make a call
Right,
to a
right.
customer.
Yeah.
Outgoing was charged and incoming was charged. Both was charged, right? So we had no option except have these handwritten addresses, and I was doing cold calls, right? So handwritten addresses, go find the addresses, and you know how great our roads are numbered,
Yeah.
right?
True.
First phase will never be followed by second phase. The
Yeah.
second phase will never have third phase after that.
Right.
So we would just go around physically on the bike from place to place, be it rain, be it sun, be it winter, summer.
I
We had
agree.
no options. We would just keep roaming, trying to knock on doors, introduce ourselves, tell them, do you want to buy computers?
Right.
So it was, now that I look back at it and I'm like, how did we actually manage all of that without internet, without Google Maps,
Right.
right? But yeah, we did it. And it was difficult sometimes. Obviously the physical
True.
exhaustion is
True.
there.
True.
Then there's a demotivation when you've done 8 calls in a day and you've not got one solid lead. There is that
Right.
because you have to go back and write a report at the end of the day, and in the report you have no leads, so they're like, what were you doing the whole day?
Exactly. Yeah.
So, and we didn't have like there was no option of saying that, okay, I spent 2 hours trying to find this location. There was no such option as such, right? So in some ways, that way it was difficult, but at the same time, uh, the the enthusiasm, the feeling of success when you crack a deal,
Yeah.
okay, when you go and meet somebody and you think it's a very small order or a small requirement, it turns out to be a
Right.
huge requirement for your organization, and we win that account. It's like there's a completely different uh, feeling to that as such, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, it was, for me, I think it was a combination of, but there were some challenges, of course. And as a woman, we have extra challenges, right?
Yeah.
Restrooms a challenge when you're out on the field.
I
Again, this
agree.
was pre-malls, so that means you can't just go to
Oh
any
my
place,
God.
right? You can't walk into a restaurant. I mean, you could walk into a restaurant and eat alone, but you're conscious about doing that,
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, so we are typically not eating food. We're not going to the restrooms out. Like, we go in the morning to the office and leave the office in the morning, then come back in the evening. Till then, we are like, there are times when we're not eating or drinking water also. So we had those challenges at that time.
Right.
Today, of course, things are so much more easier. But yeah, that time it was this challenge.
Yeah.
Those
And
challenges were there.
yeah. And because of all these things, you are here today. So, because we are
Yeah.
glad that we are taking your interview today because of your beautiful journey.
Yeah, I think, it's true, they say, right? When you go through a difficult journey at the initial part of your life, you become much more stronger as such, right?
I agree.
And so it was easier for me to, you know, there's a saying among everybody who sells, give me anything I can sell, any product, any service I'll be able to sell. And for me, the same thing happened, right? From finance to IT to HR to mobility and to coaching services. I kind of done all of this plus some more in between.
Oh my God, that's great. I'm wonderful.
Mhm.
You always remember your first sale that you have done. जो हमेशा याद रहता है कि यार हमने कुछ तो अचीव किया है लाइफ में, right? Whenever you do your first sale.
Yes,
So
yes.
tell me something about that. कि how was
I
it?
remember. I
And what
remember.
you did that day when you achieved that? कि यार yes, I did something.
So I must tell you this. I got into selling IBM personal computers.
Okay.
Okay. And at that time, the cost of a personal IBM computer was 60,000 rupees. It was way too expensive.
Yeah.
Okay. And just imagine trying to convince somebody to buy a 60,000 rupees computer.
Exactly.
Today we will think about it, imagine, and I'm talking about nearly about 18, 20 years ago. So that was a very expensive one, right?
Right.
And I was struggling to get my first sales closure with that. And I remember one of those days, evening at, I was out with some of my friends after the office hours. Okay. I was out and we were just catching up for a drink. And then I got a call from a potential customer. So I come out and I'm on the footpath and on my phone, up and down, walking up and down, walking up and down, and selling him that computer on the phone.
My
Okay,
goodness.
I had tried to meet him up early. He couldn't, but I'd left my number, so he called me back. And over the phone, I was able to close, and he confirmed the order. And he said, "Okay, fine. Give me the bank details, etc. Tomorrow, I will make the transfer to your account." And I was so shocked. I couldn't believe it. So my first sale was after office hours, standing on the footpath on a phone call, selling a 60,000 rupees personal computer
My
to the
God.
CEO of some company.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll remember that always.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Great, great, great.
Yes, that was a great experience.
And as you said that when you were, when you were in your dad's business, you were handling your dad's business or
Mm.
something. That time, I guess you were only women in it,
Yes, that's another story
and
altogether.
all people around you were, men. So,
Yes, yes.
so no, what was that experience? Do you feel, any resistance in leading men or something?
So that was again, I was all of 20 years old and a business owner in a small town in Tamil Nadu. So I shifted from Bangalore to
Okay.
Tamil Nadu at that time. I was I was newly married and I shifted there to take care of the family business.
Right.
And that was a industry which was very male oriented. Okay, most of the customers, our B2B customers, were all men with familial business. Father
Right.
was the owner, now the son is the owner, but mainly all the men. I was, first of all, I was the only woman in that entire industry, especially in that area, that part of the country. Second, I was just 20 years old. I wasn't even a woman, I was this girl.
That's true.
Right? And we were introducing a new technology. This is in dyes and chemicals business. So we were introducing a new technology of different shades of dyes, right? Already in from the factory, it was ready.
Right.
Okay, so mostly what people used to do was traditionally every factory had a dyeing master. It's called a DYEING, dyeing master.
Oh.
Okay, who would have a recipe for different shades. So
Okay.
how to get, for example, how to get parrot green versus olive green. So there are different recipes that they have. Okay.
Okay.
What we were doing was we saying you don't have to worry about those recipes. We have it pre-packaged.
Right.
Whichever shade you want, it's ready with us. And we were trying to sell that. And initially, nobody believed it is possible, especially when a woman was telling it.
Yeah.
Especially not a girl telling it. Not
Exactly.
possible. Okay. So when we would actually do the proof and show to them, they would still not believe it. So we were not able to sell it very easily. Then what we did was I had to figure out. And then what I started doing was I would do all the work at the back end. Then I would give that product or the information to the salesmen or my husband to go and sell this to the customer. And they would believe it. And they say, "Oh, wow, this is great. You can actually get this ready-made. We don't have to do all of those things." Right? So as long as they knew it was not from me, they were accepting it. They were ready to, experiment and then use it as such, right? So that was, for some time that I had to do things at the background. I had to take a step back, be at the background, let the men be the front face of the organization or of the product. So I did that for a couple of years. I was not very happy about doing it.
Yeah.
So years later, when I had a chance to redefine my career, I decided I will look at an opportunity where it's me. If I'm doing the work, then I have to be visible. I want the limelight. I want people to see me when I do the
Exactly.
work. Yeah. So yeah, I changed that years later.
Right. That's great. So it's an inspiration to all of young blood, like
Absolutely.
we people. So it's a great inspiration. So it's lovely.
Sometimes you have to play the back seat, but if you're not happy being, at the background,
Right.
then you need to make the change.
Yeah. So, here comes I asked you what resistance when you're leading men. So
Mhm,
here comes the family obligations in picture.
mm,
Generally, there are social and cultural barriers.
mhm.
So, which generally trim down the confidence or boldness of a woman because of family, maybe family issues or something like that. So, so what steps you would want to give a girl or a woman who wants to become successful or who
Mhm.
wants to come in this kind of business, in this sales or marketing? So,
Uh, the first thing is, I think today the market has changed a lot. You
yeah,
have more women in every function, every
right,
industry. You've got
right,
women there, right?
right,
So we have enough of inspirational stories of other women
right,
who are actually doing it,
right,
cracking it, and succeeding in it,
right.
right? So first thing is learn from them, right?
Agree.
Okay, I mean, there are people who are already done it, so obviously it's possible for you too. Okay. Second thing I think is just very important is, you know, don't let external barriers or limitations define what you should and shouldn't do.
Right.
You can have your own thing. You can decide. For example,
Yeah.
if I'm saying I can't go out at 8 o'clock in the night for a meeting, it's your limitation. That is a different thing that you work with. Okay. but
Right.
but if somebody else is telling you want to do it, you can do it, but somebody else is telling you not to do it,
Right.
I think that should not define. If you make a decision, I am making a decision that I don't want to do it, that's different. But don't let other people define that.
Right.
I think that's one thing. Not just for sales, for anything in your life. If you let other people define what you should and shouldn't be doing, one, you will never be happy doing it.
Yeah.
Two,
Right.
at some point of time, they will also not be happy about you doing
Yeah.
it. They will find something else which you're not doing.
Right. Right.
So either which doesn't work. So whether it is, even if it is sales, I don't think I should ever look at somebody outside, uh, outside as even outside you, even your
Right.
family members telling you should or shouldn't. It's your decision to make that.
Right. Agree. This I remember one thing when I have an elder brother.
Mhm,
When he is into sales and marketing background.
mhm, mhm.
So when he was doing his sales and marketing, my family was okay with it. Okay, since he's a boy, so he can do it. When I wanted to do it, my parents' reaction were odd. Something like, sales? No, no. How can you do it? No, no, no. You're a girl. You're a woman. You cannot. How will you handle
Correct.
people?
Correct.
Like
Correct.
that. But now when I do this, then I convince them. This is one of
Mhm.
the skills where comes in picture that you have to convince people. So I have to,
Yes.
I have to convince my parents for
Correct.
letting me go into sales. So
Yeah. Yeah.
that was thinking. Now they are very okay with it. Oh, now they are convinced, pretty convinced, and okay with my career and all. So that is
Yeah.
something again boy thing comes in picture.
Yeah, that's interesting. I remember when I told my father that I'm setting up an office in Dubai.
Yeah.
Okay, at one level he was very happy, very proud. Meri
Yeah.
beti,
Pretty. Yeah.
Dubai mein office khol rahi hai, very proud.
Right.
But the other side of it, he was also like, how will you manage it? Are you trying to travel there? Are you going to travel to another country alone? There's an initial, a fear or whatever it is, right?
Right.
Okay, how are you going to manage it? So there was a little bit of, saying, no, Papa, it's okay. I'll manage it. You know me. I can do this. Go ahead. Okay,
Right.
fine.
Right.
After that, once I went and came back the first time, then he was like, ah, okay, fine. So I'm like, that way I was really lucky and blessed that, my family trusted me. They would have the regular fear. I think it would be the same thing. If my son suddenly decides to go to another country, I'm
Right.
going to worry for him the first time
Right.
he's traveling. But aside from that, I'm lucky that, I had the support and I didn't have to worry about that too much.
Yeah, agreed, agreed. Good. So, how do you encourage women to not give up? Because generally in sales, we give up very easily. We have that thing कि यार नहीं हो रहा ये. I think I
Right.
have to give up. So, what advice you will give women?
Okay, so first thing I would tell you that discouragement does not have a gender. Demotivation does not have a gender,
Yeah.
right? Uh, in fact, none of these feelings have success doesn't have a gender, right?
Right.
Sales closure does not have a gender.
Right.
So, just if you're giving up just because you're a woman, I think that is the lamest reason to give up. Uh, you may be giving up because it's too difficult. You've not been able to get a single closure
Right.
because you've met some rude customers,
Yeah.
So all that is, I think, a part of the learning curve. You have to learn. You have to learn how to handle difficult customers. And sales is a practical subject. You will not learn it until you face a difficult customer.
Yes.
Right?
True.
You can do all your reading, you can attend all the courses, you can talk to the sales gurus of the world.
Right.
But unless you face that, you're not actually
Yeah.
imbibe it, right? So that is
Right.
one. I think even the best of the salespeople always have this where sometimes the leads just don't convert,
Right.
right? हम लोग in Hindi we say ना वो खाना मुंह पर आते आते यहाँ से गिर
रह
जाता
जाता है.
है, right? So
Right.
that's again a part of sales. How do you manage that? How do you kind of accept that it will demotivate you, but that's not a reason to give up,
Right.
right? There will be times when you just have zero leads in your pipeline, and there's this fear. There is a time when you know that you're going to miss your target this quarter. Okay, all of these, everything is part of your learning. Because if you don't have these things, we don't face any of these, you will never become a better salesperson.
Right. Right. Agreed. Totally.
Right? So the only thing is that every time all of these things happen, sit back and think, what could I have done better? Right?
Yeah.
What have I learned from this? What should I not do the next time? And what I should do the next time?
Right. Right.
So if these learning does not happen, then what will happen? All of these things will keep happening with you again
Right.
and again and again
Right.
and again and again. And that would of course completely demotivate you because you're not doing anything about
Right.
it. So I guess that's for me, and this is an advice for me for everybody, whoever's getting into sales, irrespective of the gender, the geography in which they are, whether they're in B2C or B2B.
Right.
Sales is sales.
Yes. Sales. Agreed.
Doesn't matter which geography, which gender you're in.
Agreed. Agreed. Totally. Yes. So, it is generally believed that, when you are 25, you are, you are a free bird. Then it's the sales is for you, But you see, 25 is something, generally कि अब शादी वाला age है. It's something like that. So it is generally believed that after once you get married, so this sales journey or the sales, what we can say, stream is very difficult for a woman once she gets married. So is it something you also faced like this situation, or was it okay? Was it your family supported it?
Yeah, personally, I did not. I was a single mother very early.
Oh.
So I was blessed with having my parents support me, be there for my son when I had to go out for a 9 to 6 job, right? And I remember when I was promoted, and I had to start looking at other branches in Hyderabad and Chennai. That means I had to travel to Hyderabad and Chennai. The first time I had to leave my kid behind and go out for a business trip. I'm a mother. I was scared. I was like thinking, oh, my son is not going to be, how is he going to manage? He cannot be without me and everything.
That's true.
Luckily, my parents were there and he was bindas. He was happy with his grandparents. I don't think he missed me. I missed him as much as I missed him, and I was worried. He wasn't. So again, I must say I'm one of those few lucky people like that way, that I was blessed. In spite of being a single parent, I did not have any of these issues. Touch wood. But yeah, but I think for others, I have worked with a lot of other women, right, and who have got into their career or business after marriage also, right? And they've had, a few of them have had challenges, the family expectations of what you should be doing as a married woman, right? Whether you're with your parents, with your in-laws, or with your husband, even your child has certain expectations that you're the mother, you should be doing this, other mothers are not doing this, why? So there will be all of these expectations, will always be there. And with sales especially, what happens is that you have the pressure, plus if it's a physical sales, field sales, and you have the physical exhaustion, all of these are there. So it kind of, I can imagine that it does become difficult, right? But the only way, like you said, right, you have to learn to convince your family. You have to create you have to create this ecosystem inside your house that supports you with these things, right? So I mean, at least you can say in some level, sales in some level is your timings is predictable. You're not a emergency surgeon or a firefighter where you don't know anything can happen anytime, right? There is still some structure around all of these things, and again, you need to create that structure, and that's what we go. You see, some people, we're all good at convincing and making people do things that we want them to do, right? So we should be able to do that. It's more difficult with family. It's easier to convince outsiders than insiders. But if we actually use whatever we learn and we do in sales, we use that inside the house, so I think we'll be able to manage it better.
And unless and until you have a supporting family or supportive husband, then maybe it's very easy for the woman to
it is and again, it's not just again for the sales function, right? For every career woman, a working woman will have these challenges, right? I know women who are school teachers and they struggle because they have family obligations also to manage. They're trying to do both of them, right? So sales is also another profession as such, right? So actually, I don't think there's much of a difference in terms of, when you have to make a commitment, you have to make a commitment. Whether it's out, in fact, sales commitments are very serious commitments too, right? So whether it's external or internal commitments, you have to manage both of them. So the only way you can do that is ensuring that your surroundings support you with that.
Yes, totally agreed. So generally Indian women, generally they give more emphasis to their motherly role, and as you rightly said, so rather than setting up a venture or setting up a growth career, so so they will choose rather a safe risk job other than this sales or marketing, or maybe setting up a business. So what's your opinion on this? Should they do it or not do it?
Okay, I think your statement is both true and false.
Okay.
Right? True, because yes, A lot of women do that. False, because not all women do that.
Do that.
Right? And so I think, especially in India, maybe across the globe also, women are expected to multitask, right? They are expected to manage both home and office
Right.
flawlessly, right? Without one interfering into the other space.
Right.
Okay, which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Ridiculous expectation.
Absolutely.
Right? When you've got so many, when you're juggling so many balls in the air, one or two is going to drop.
Exactly.
Okay, the only thing I can say is accept it. Okay, there are times when, for example, as a parent, I would give more focus on my child.
Right.
Okay, maybe it's his exam times. Okay, and there are times when I will tell my son to manage on his own because I have to finish this work also.
Okay. Yes.
Right? So I'm sure that there would be times when my colleagues would be disappointed that I'm not available because I'm doing something with my family, or sometimes my family is going to be disappointed that I'm not available because I'm busy with work. Okay,
Right.
it is going to happen. Accept it, and don't kill yourself for it.
Yeah.
Right? Don't keep saying that, oh, I'm a bad mother, oh, I'm a bad professional.
Right.
If you're going to manage both things, there will be times when you're going to drop the ball, and it's fine. Okay, there will be times when you've in your system that you ecosystem that I said you've built around yourself to support you will fail. Isn't that life?
Yeah.
Right? Isn't that life that you would do everything, फिर भी कुछ ना कुछ खराब हो जाता है, and sometimes you're not doing anything and everything just works out perfectly.
Exactly, it happens.
Right? It happens, right? When you don't curse life for all of those things, why are you cursing yourself, or why are you having this great expectation ki I should be able to do everything?
Yeah.
Right? While we are talking about the Durgas, right, there was time when even Durga was angry and she took on one form. And there was times when Durga calmed down and took another form.
Yes.
Right? So there is time for everything. So give yourself that opportunity to be everything if you want to be, but if you're not able to, it's okay.
So yeah. Lovely. I'm really enjoying this conversation with you.
Same here. I'm loving your questions.
So it's not looking like we're having an interview or something. We're having a general conversation with each other about women's. So I wanted to know, like, how is Neetu outside, or what we can say, outside organization, or is she workaholic, or how is she, like, what she does in her free time or something like that?
Okay, first of all, Neetu is very talkative. You can make that out, right?
But you are in sales, right? We are salespeople. We have to.
But by the way, I do know a few people in sales who are not very talkative. They are the quieter ones, and they are super, super successful also.
Right.
Okay.
I agree.
But yeah, most of us in sales love to talk. So I am a talkative person. But when it comes to me time, then I do the opposite. I want to be quiet. When you're spending the whole day talking to people, then you want to, relax, doing the opposite.
Own space.
Own space. It used to be books. I was crazy about books earlier, but today Netflix and Audible has completely spoiled me. So my reading has reduced, but my hearing has increased. So I do continue to read books or listen to books.
Right.
At any given point of time, I'm at least reading 3 or 4 books. So I really enjoy that. I love learning. I mean, I call myself a student of life for life. So anytime I'm like reading, blogging, entering some courses, learning something or the other all the time. That's me. Aside from all of these things, I love dancing.
Oh,
That
that's
energy is there, right? You want to,
exactly.
yeah. So that comes out when I'm able to go out dancing. So I really love doing that.
Yeah, that's
And then there's a family time. That's all of us sitting down together, having lunch or dinner or the weekend, Sunday brunch together.
yeah.
All of those things. These are all, like you say, those little keys that bind us up again, so that
Right,
we're ready for the next week.
right.
For the next week.
Right. So, I wanted to know that generally it is said that, do women in sales have a hard time getting promoted? What do you
Hmm.
think about it?
Honestly, I have to tell you yes for that,
Okay.
right? I was thinking about it, and I think that should not be a true statement, but I think it is true. It is true. Um, Again, personally, um, I've not experienced much of it, but I do recall a time when it did happen to me in my earlier part of my career,
Right.
and again, it was very stupid. The reason given to me was the same thing, that this was into product sales, right? I wanted to get into product sales, a specific technology product
Right.
sale, which was more in technical than a PC. And I was told that tech sales, I think, would be better handled by a guy, and that was my promotion time. So I was promoted to do more of customer relationship management, so
Yeah.
called, more womanly
Right.
than the hardcore tech sales as such,
Right.
right? So it did happen to me, and I've heard of enough of other situations, other women saying the same thing, which is very sad. I I'm a little curious to figure out, when organizations create this performance matrix for themselves. Do they have two columns saying men and women separately? Because what is the parameters to actually differentiate this,
Right.
right? But yeah, it does happen, unfortunately.
Yeah. So that reminds me that you have written a book,
Yes.
So tell me about that. How was it? And what book you have wrote?
Okay. So as a business coach, I work with entrepreneurs, both early stage organizations and SMEs,
Right.
right? And I come from an entrepreneurial background, right?
Right.
I've been an entrepreneur for so many years.
Right.
So one thing which is very important to me as an entrepreneur is, if I am going to spend my time reading a book, attending a webinar, or doing a course,
Right.
the only reason I'm doing any of these things is because I want to learn something and apply it in my business. I'm
Right.
not sitting there for the gyan.
Yeah.
I'm sitting there for how to apply that gyan in my business, right?
Right.
That's a mindset of an entrepreneur. The only reason a business person sitting in any of these courses or reading a book is for that reason, main, right? That's a main primary reason. So uh, what was happening is, when I was working with business owners, I realized that there were certain common challenges that was happening,
You're facing.
especially in
Yeah.
sales and marketing. There were
Right.
some certain common challenges which was which could be solved by doing some 5, 6, 8 things,
Right.
or at least exploring those 5, 6 things as such, right? And I was kind of realizing that, hey, this is a common situation, and I've been able to help them by saying, okay, why don't you try this out? Why don't you try this out? So what I did was, I put together most of these case studies into a book format.
Right.
Okay. And I spoke about 8 strategies on how the SMEs can increase their revenues,
Right.
especially the SME business owners. I focus a lot with them because they may not have the luxury of having advisors and mentors and leadership teams to help them make, think through a challenge as such. That's what the book is all about. It talks about how there are some simple strategies which you can implement in your business today, right now, this moment,
Okay.
without spending huge amount of time and money on it.
Yeah.
And you can see how it can impact your revenues and your profits.
That's great, great, great. I'll read it definitely.
Oh, definitely, you should.
Yeah.
It's a full of life case studies.
Yeah, great, great. I'm to definitely going to now read it.
Great.
When you started this journey, was it difficult to build your own personal brand?
um it was not difficult, because not it was not difficult in the sense that I didn't know what to do. Okay, the difficulty was in trying to do it regularly, day after day.
Right,
Okay, right. So I think uh, with any brand, a person, whether it's personal or business brand, the first thing is visibility,
right,
right? And in the personal brand, for the role of a business coach, along with visibility, is the trust factor.
right,
So you need to build these two things.
right,
And so how do you do that? Especially, luckily, we are in the age of social media, so that's
right,
that's the go-to place for everybody. But the challenge always is on being regular at
right,
it, right? So ensuring that you're there in front of your customers, in front of your audience on a regular way. You're writing regularly, you're posting regularly, you are doing videos regularly,
right,
you're launching courses regularly, you're sharing your experiences as a business coach, what's happening, what's not happening,
right,
right, on a regular basis. I have to tell you, I am guilty of the fact that I'm not actually doing this regularly. So I've actually written an article about something called sometimes on and sometimes off marketing.
right,
Okay, and it's happening with me also, and that's a challenge which is there with uh, everybody who's trying to build their personal brand.
right, right. So, what motivates you to do the best?
Okay, so I've got two levels of motivation.
Okay.
One is the internal.
Yeah.
Okay, the internal is this satisfaction of a job done well,
Right.
right? um, some jobs you want it to be perfect,
Yes.
some jobs you're just happy, Papa, it's done. So you've got both sides of that, but as long as it's an internal level of satisfaction, that's one thing. The second one is the external,
Right.
which is more of recognition, right? People recognizing that you've done a good job of it.
Yes.
I'm going to be honest. Yes, it matters to me when people tell that, yes, what you're saying, what you're doing makes sense. I can apply it in my business. I have learned something talking to
Right.
you,
Right.
right? It matters. That acknowledgement matters to me. So when I get those acknowledgement also, when I've made a impact on someone else's life, business, whatever it is,
Right.
so that these two together is uh, my motivation.
That's great. Great. So, last question. That
Mhm.
what is that one advice you would want to give to the newbies
Mhm.
are stepping their foot in this market in sales?
Okay. Uh, okay. I would say that you need to develop the mindset of an explorer and a gatherer.
Yeah.
Two opposite things, okay? But if you understand sales, it's the hunter and the farmer,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
So the reason is, as an explorer, okay, what will you do? You will be curious about everything. You'll
Yeah.
want to go
Yes.
and figure out. You'll want to go and explore if something is possible, right?
You want to go and try everything that is
yes,
possible.
yes. What is that? Go to places where no man has ever been before.
Yeah.
So
That's true. Yeah.
yeah. So you need to have that mindset. You have to be curious. You'll want to push yourself to do things which you've never done before. You'll want to get out of the comfort zone. You'll want to meet people, do things in a
Yes.
different manner. So that's the mindset of an explorer. Okay. On the other side, the gatherer is somebody who will get all these experiences, okay, and bring it home, so that you learn, you implement, get those inquiries, bring it home and close them. No, find an opportunity, then get that customer inside your fold. So
Right.
that's the gatherer piece of it, right? So
Right.
uh, it's it's like this, uh, the Star Trek wala journeys. Go out, do something which nobody
Right.
else has done, but coming back to humanity for the betterment of that.
Right.
Similar to that, right? So I think go with a mindset that you are embarking into a adventurous journey. You will have so many stories to say in the
Yes.
future. Sales has always got so many
Yes.
stories, right?
Yes.
You're going
Agreed.
to do that, right? And of course, once you get into sales,
Yeah.
you can get into any business as such, right? Any business function. You would love the whole energy exchange that you have with people,
Right.
right? So all of those things, I mean, there's so much of adventure in your future if you're getting into sales.
Right.
And then, of course, the gathering piece of it, where you learn that you'll be able to imbibe it and apply it in your business, apply it in your life. It's going to
Right.
change everything that you do around. It will change you, it will change the way you handle people, the way you handle business. So you're in for a great adventure.
Yeah, that's great. Great. Lovely. Oh my God, what a journey. It was lovely. It was wonderful, amazing talking to you. And
Thank
I don't want to stop here. मेरे को रुकना
you.
just because of the time constraints and all that. I had to wait, but it was a wonderful, wonderful session. Thank you so much for coming
Thank
in here and sharing your sales journey with us. And you are a real Durga, I must say.
Thank you so much. It was my pleasure. I'm so happy to be a part of these series. And I love the fact that you are promoting women to get into
Yes.
a sales
Yeah.
function.
Yes.
And I think, there is so much within us as women to be able to do this. And sales is just one more of those things that we just have to conquer. A lot of us have already done. We just have to forget about the fears and jump into the adventure of sales.
Yes, absolutely. I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I love the work that you're doing, and keep up that entire thing. Thank you
Absolutely.
so much for
Definitely.
that.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you so much once again.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.